Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a good evening. I know that this is like a super wild time to be doing a live stream, but I felt it, you know? You guys ever know, like, where you just kind of like get like a vibe to do something, and so you just kind of have to do it? It is 11:30 my time right now, which I normally, if I'm streaming at this hour, I've normally already started streaming. So it's kind of weird to be streaming right now. However, I just finished up editing a video for the channel that is right now on its early release on Patreon. And it's basically all of my thoughts surrounding the left-hand path and my distaste for Madame Blavatsky, put together in a much more cohesive manner. And for those of you who don't know, I was on Abby the Witch's live panel, where myself and some other really cool creators, we were basically talking about the left-hand path. And there were people on there who were left-hand path. There was a pretty good variance of practitioners on there. It wasn't just Satanists and Luciferians. Not that there's any issue with them, but oftentimes that's what gets highlighted with the left-hand path. So, also there were people that weren't left-hand path that were on there, so that was really cool. But anyway, like I kind of had made some notes when I was preparing to do that live panel, and I mean, I feel like I might have even talked too much on the panel. I can be a little insufferable like that, where I don't know when to shut the fuck up. But I wanted to really put all of my words in just like one place, and in one video. And I had been meaning to make a left-hand path video anyway. I just hadn't gotten around to it. So I took all of my notes that I used in that panel and I compiled them all together and like put them in a video. So anyways, I just finished editing that, and I've really, really, really been connecting more with this deck. So that's what this is going to all be about. If anyone would like a read, you can comment your name in the stream. I'm kind of trying to keep my eye on Facebook too, because for whatever reason, like when people send stars on Facebook, it doesn't tell me here on StreamYard. And so I feel really bad when people are supporting the channel with stars because I don't see it unless I'm also looking at the Facebook. So I have that pulled up here on my phone so I can kind of like keep an eye on both things. But I was going to do a review video of this deck, and I still might do that. Like a properly filmed review video. I still might do that. But I was playing around with this. I was doing some readings the other night. And if you're on my Instagram, which is just Jasmyne Ambrosia, same as my channel, then you will see my post where I pulled some cards, and I believe I got the 10 of Cups and I got the Empress. And the Empress in this deck is Lilith, and just the imagery of both of those cards and the fact that both of those cards also had a horned moon on there, just like really, really, really like spoke to my soul, and it was a great intro to this deck. Also, for those of you on the Patreon, recently I had Patrick, aka Lilith's son. We did a Patreon collaboration, which that will be public later, but right now it's on early release on Patreon, where Lilith's son and I both kind of talked about witchcraft and of course Lilith, both of us being, you know, devotees of the Infernal Mother. And then that led into like a weird discussion about artificial intelligence and other stuff. So anyways, getting off topic here. Hello, everyone in the chat. Shout out to Australia. It's good to see you here. It's good to see you. This is so weird. Hold on. Hold on. Lilith said, hold on. Now hold on. And I'm muted. Okay, that was kind of annoying. Yeah, so we're gonna do some readings. And I'm gonna talk about the Diablo Sanctuary deck, but guys, what was I talking about before that? So Lilith's Sun, we did like this collab. We were talking about artificial intelligence, and I think that's right when my phone slammed onto my laptop and somehow turned off my cam on StreamYard, and then I had to like reboot everything. I don't even know. But so Lilith's Sun is actually the one who told me about this deck. And we were like just chatting because like we just send each other voice memos and chat off and on throughout the day or whatever. And he was like, you should really check this deck out. Because I think we were talking about tattoos and I was sharing my Lilith tattoo with him and kind of talking about how I wanted my Lilith tattoo to kind of be this Infernal Mary, Lilithian, Tiamat, Babylon sort of vibe. And so that led into this conversation, which those of you who don't know, I'm actually kind of a nerd a little bit. I mean, I love Blizzard, not some of the stuff that they've done. Of course, that's problematic. Those of you who know. But I mean, I'm a World of Warcraft junkie for the Horde, obviously. And like, I don't know, I played Diablo back in the day as I played like a sorceress, vibes, but also like a cleric, vibes. And so this deck kind of just speaks in some way to like that aspect of myself, like as a gamer, but also to like, I remember playing Diablo like with my brothers, like being a wee lass. So it's kind of like nostalgic in a way. And then Diablo, the Sanctuary, is kind of especially like interesting because it really kind of features Anarius and Lilith and like their kind of story and this sanctuary of Earth and the eternal battle between heaven and hell, which is just like vibes, right? So I'm going to show you the deck, and I don't know if anyone said they wanted to get a reading or not. Sure, you can read me. Sure. I do have a druid as well, but priest, believe it or not, was actually and is still my main. I have played a holy priest pretty much since vanilla. So, hello. Okay, Deadly, I got you. So, yeah, this deck is gorgeous. First of all, it's like box like so like that, right? And then the back of the box says, Weigh the past and seize your destiny, wherever the darkened path may lead, with the Sanctuary Tarot Deck and Guidebook, inspired by the magic-infused mythos of the Blizzard Entertainment Diablo franchise. So within this, it includes 78 full-color, hand-illustrated tarot cards and a 96-page illustrated guidebook. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay, or if this background music is like too loud. I really would like to get like maybe a cute little mic and like a new camera. So I'm not using the camera that is on my laptop because it's giving very Y2K. I could use my phone, but I really should be paying attention to the stream on Facebook. Huh. Guess I should pull that up. If you guys are watching from Facebook, I can see your guys' comments. But if you send me stars, I have to literally see them from Facebook. It's so annoying. I'm sorry if you guys sent me any stars. Okay, I'm just going to pull that there. So, all right, let's get into it. It opens like so, like that, right? And then, like, it's like a decent box. Like, it has this cute little ribbon. I'm very much here for the aesthetics and the branding of the box. Like, it's gold, it's red, it's black, it's giving, it's sturdy. I love it. Love it. The guidebook, honestly, I could take it or leave it. Honestly. This is the guidebook. Don't love that. I just don't love that it's like this, you know? Also, like, it's a pretty basic guidebook. Not that I necessarily expect a whole lot from Blizzard Entertainment when it comes to my spiritual needs. But like, there's a little bit of an introduction here that's like fairly generic. And it has nothing to do with the game that it's based off of. It's just an introduction to like tarot in a very vague way. And then there's like, basically like a couple of spreads that are very generic that almost every guidebook is going to include, like a Celtic cross, a 3-card spread, a daily meditation pull. Not that there's anything wrong with those, but it would be nice if there was like a Diablo spread, you know, like if I was on the team that was putting this together, I would have included the basic spreads, but maybe made like a Diablo spread since it's the Diablo deck, you know? Right. And then other than that, you guys, like basically everything in here is like, it takes you through the cards like one by one, right? And it basically gives you just kind of a generic, if this is upright, it means this. If this is reversed, it means this. That's it really. And it also doesn't really give you much story in the terms of like who some of these people or demons that are on the cards, like who they are. So if you're not familiar with Diablo, or like the lore, not that I think that you need to be, because I think the art, and I'm going to show you guys the art. I think the art is gorgeous. So I don't necessarily think that you need to be like a Diablo gamer or familiar with the Diablo lore in any capacity in order to enjoy this deck, but it kind of would have been cool, I think, to have a little bit of story element to it. I don't know. I'm kind of a lore junkie. Like, even like in World of Warcraft, like my friends kind of make fun of me because they're like, who plays this game for the lore? And I'm like, not me over here having multiple like World of Warcraft books. Like, like reading the trilogy of the Silverwind sisters, like my heart. Anyway, let me get a little sippy. So tonight we're drinking green tea, but I also put a what is that? Like a hibiscus tea bag in with my green tea, and then a little bit of the Mio Black Cherry, caffeine free. Very good. Oh, and the green tea is like a mint green tea too. So let's get into these cards. So these are like very reflective I don't even know how well you're going to be able to see them on camera because they're so reflective. I probably will make like a proper review video for this on my channel, but this is what the back of the cards look like. They're just like this kind of like black and gloss decal here. You're not going to be able to see it very well. But it's like the Diablo like sigil map, essentially. I love it. And I think even if you're not familiar with that, you would love it too. So let's go through some of the cards. This is the High Priestess. The Magician. All of these cards have a really, really gorgeous, like gold, red sort of foil. This was the High Priestess. This is the High Priestess. And I just showed the Magician. They all have like this really gorgeous, like red foil and black and white illustration. The Fool. Queen of Swords. Hi, Starlight. Good to see you. The Knight of Swords. I'm not going to pull through like all 72 of these, but we'll do some. A Page of Swords. And I know that Patrick, he was telling me that he likes to use this deck for his like infernal readings. I haven't tried that yet. I've just been reading it as I would an RWS deck. 10 of Swords. I do love that one. Temperance. I think that this is Zenarius, which is like Lilith's angelic lover in the series. I think that's Zenarius. Six of Pentacles. This one's fun. Yeah, the art is so, so good, right? I like this Three of Pentacles a lot. Of course, Mother Lilith as the Empress. And there she has a horned moon, which, oh my gosh, it's resonating, babe. It's resonating. Love it. 10 of Cups. Also, this has a horned moon. Okay. Let's do some readings. I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. I just kind of got this wild hair up my ass to do the stream tonight. I had been wanting to do like a live card pull for a little while. Yeah, I think the cards are really quality, honestly. Like the material, the cardstock, great. The imagery, great. I could very much see this kind of being my new go-to personal deck. And I am a RWS reader anyway. I kind of lean and gravitate more towards that. So I like that this is a traditional RWS deck. Even though it doesn't necessarily use traditional imagery, I can see the elements of traditional RWS within the imagery, like how we had in that Six of Pentacles or in the Empress card where it shows Lilith, or in Temperance with Zenarius. Like I can see the similarity. So I do want to say that tipping for this is absolutely not required. If you would like some cards, it might be one card. Okay, it might just be one. If you would like a reading, comment your name down below and say that you would like a reading. I'm going to start the list now. So if you commented before, comment again. Tips are not required. Tips are, of course, appreciated. It's nice, but you do not need to. Okay. I will try to get through the list as best I can. Sometimes the list fills up and I'm not able to complete it by the time I'm ready to get off of here, but I will try to complete it. I will make sure that anyone who does tip gets their reading on this live. And I don't know how long I'm gonna stay on here. Honestly, I could stay on here for 15 minutes. I could stay on here for another hour and a half. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm gonna pull one for Deadly first. Thank you for coming. Okay, Murphy, I got you. I can do that. Hi, Shelby. Good to see you. I'm trying to make sure that my dress stays where it needs to stay here. Her. Okay. Let's get into it, you guys. Let's get into it. Also, I had dinner today with Abby the Witch. Vibes. Vibes. We're single-handedly keeping Applebee's alive, just so you know. You're welcome, Deadly. Let's see what we get. And this is helpful too, because I'm still working with this deck. Like I just got it a couple days ago. And like I said, I know RWS, but I'm still learning and working with this deck. So, Deadly, I got the star, which I think that this is an Arias on the star too. But I got the star for you. So in classical RWS, the star upright like this represents hope. It represents faith. It represents like a promise, like light at the end of the tunnel, as in things are going to be improving, that there is a renewal coming. There is light at the end of whatever tunnel this is, this metaphorical tunnel that we are venturing through, that there is, you know, an element of restored faith, whether that be in yourself or in others, that is on its way with the star. The star is very much like a powerful and positive omen that good and benevolent changes are on its way for the better in your life. Okay, Murphy. Oh, I had a flyer for you. Let me grab it. Oh, and out. So I had the Queen of Swords for you, Murphy. You're welcome, Deadly. I'm glad that you were able to catch me live too, Shelby. I hope that you've been well. Hi, Craig. Okay, Murphy, Queen of Swords. This to me always gives me Dark Mother. Always, the Queen of Swords does. In RWS, the Queen of Swords kind of upright especially represents more positive aspects and elements of the divine feminine through the element of air specifically. So we are talking about the mind and the throat and intuition and communication. Thank you, Australia. So that's what we're talking about here. So the Queen of Swords, this is going to be kind of considered like a Royal Arcana card in Tarot. And a Royal Arcana card is different than a major, like we just had, or a Minor Arcana card, because Royal Arcana cards, these represent people. So this could be you, like you could be embodying the Queen of Swords, or maybe needing to channel the Queen of Swords sort of energy. The Royal Arcana has 16 archetypes that all of us incorporate and embody at different times in our life. Some of us might sort of project a select few of them more than others, but they're all human experiences and archetypes. The Queen of Swords is upright, is seen as like a positive feminine archetype of the element of air. So very intellectual, very charismatic, very intuitive. Air is very psychic. Air is it's all the mind. So it's psychic in a way from like intuition. It's not so much like clairsentience, it's more like claircognizance, you know? It's more like you be knowing the shit instead of maybe feeling the shit. That's more Queen of Swords. So I would say if we were to look at this in terms of like how to incorporate being more like the Queen of Swords, it would be thinking more strategically and critically. It would be thinking of the long term and being quick-witted. It would be academic. This could also be someone in your life as well, Queen of Swords. This could also just be like the Dark Mother, you know? For myself, I very much feel like when I see the Queen of Swords, it's like a message from the Dark Goddess telling me that she's there. That's how I see it personally. But yeah, I hope that is helpful, Murphy. And you know, you guys can message me. Okay, Nick. Let me get one for you. Oh, hold on. Let me reshuffle this because Nick, I just had like half of this deck fly out. These cards are really big. I mean, I'm a big person. I have like good size hands, I guess. I don't know how to say that, but these cards are big, which is kind of good for online readings, actually. Okay, Nick, I got the Ten of Swords. So the art is stunning. But the Ten of Swords, this can sometimes represent like a defeat. This can represent feeling lost or having a sense of a lack of motivation or desire to move forward or to better our circumstances or our situations. This is kind of like a card of like feeling defeated. I think that for the sake of me not really doing like a whole reading, I'm just kind of pulling a card here and showing you guys some of these. I think, Nick, for the sake of you getting this card, I would say the message of this is to like not live or operate from a place like this. And if we are feeling, and maybe you're not, I really don't want to like create anxiety and, you know, be like, this is your reality. But if we are feeling maybe a little bit defeated or stuck or uninspired, I think that we can take some lessons from the star card that we got earlier and really try to find that motivation and that light at the end of the tunnel. I think that to me, the message of Lilith has always been like, no one is necessarily coming to save us. We need to save ourselves. And we need to kind of be like our own sort of like hero. That's always been how Lilith has kind of guided me and pushed me. And so I feel like with this Ten of Swords, like, it's okay to feel this way and it's okay to have these things happen, but it's not okay necessarily to stay there with these 10 swords piercing through you and just bleeding out on the floor. We can't necessarily live there. Not that you're there right now, but that would be like the message of a 10 of Swords card. So that got really heavy already, really fast. Yeah, make sure that you put your name in the comments if you would like a read. I hope that some of that was helpful, Nick. Oh, okay. Thank you. Hello, Danny. Good. I'm glad, Murphy, that it resonates. I'm glad. Sure, Kitty. Oh, I just saw that you guys sent super chats. Thank you. I'm just now seeing these. Danny, you can totally ask a question. I am just kind of doing like general readings, but if you have a specific question, I'm happy to answer that for you. And thank you so much, Danny, for the super chat. I really appreciate the support. And thank you, Kitty, so much for the super chat. I really appreciate your support as well. It means a lot, and it really does make a difference. Okay, Kitty, let's get a card for you. Interesting. Six of Swords, Kitty, is what I'm getting. Which, don't you guys just love this imagery? I love it. It is so intense and just, I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain how this resonates with me. It just like really, really does. I don't know if this resonates with you guys too. I did post a link, by the way, in the description of this deck and like where to get it and everything. So if you're interested in that, you can go check this out for yourself. I think it's like 24 bucks. So, but the Six of Swords in RWS typically represents some sort of like goodbye, moving on. It can sometimes be seen as like a painful goodbye or like having to kind of like start anew in some ways. Something that I'm getting from this specifically, and when I first saw the imagery, is it also reminded me a little bit of like the river Styx and like the ferryman crossing that river and sort of like messages of the psychopomp and the underworld. So I think maybe for you, Kitty, what I'm seeing here could be like some painful goodbyes or like moving on per the RWS message of this card. But I also think that this could be like maybe a reminder to really check in and start working more with the archetype of the psychopomp and traveling to the underworld, connecting to the dead. That could represent itself through witch flight, which I'm working on a project in regards to witch flight right now that I can't really talk about on the stream, but just know that something is coming. So witch flight, kind of like astral travel, projecting your spirit and exploring the underworld. That's really what I get from this card. Moving forward, I think that there's also, going to be like this shift and this change that's going to push you out of where you are now into something new. And I think that initially it could feel a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe you're already going through it now, but I think that it's maybe needed. And the place that you will be headed to from taking this ferry ride across the river is going to be where the spirits are calling you to be. I feel like there's definitely something waiting for you on the other side of that river, whether that be literally like moving on and traveling and, in the physical, or whether that be something maybe more spiritual for you right now. You're welcome, Nick. I'm really glad. I'm really glad. Thank you. Okay, Danny. Thank you again for the super chat. Kitty, I hope that was helpful. I'd really like to do more of these live readings. And like I've said before too, I don't know if you guys were here or not, but I kind of do want to do a proper review of this, like a proper review video. I just feel like when I do review like videos of card decks, they tend to not necessarily do as well in the algorithm as like live readings, I don't know. Okay, Danny, I got the Ace of Wands for you. Very cool card as well. So Ace of Wands in RWS, the wands are going to represent the element of fire. So all of the suits are connected to an element which represent an aspect of our lives. Wands represent fire. They represent our sensuality, our sexuality, our creativity, our spirituality. It represents our life force, our chi, our prana, our gusto, you know? And aces typically represent like good or bad omens, and they represent the entirety of the suit that they embody. So an Ace of Wands is the powers of fire. It is the power of sex. It is the power of sensuality. It is the power of creativity. It is the power of life force. It is our blood. And this being upright signifies like good omens in the element of fire for you. So it's kind of like you're being handed a magical wand, you're being handed sacred flames, and you're being asked to really put those sacred flames to work in your life right now. That's kind of what like an ace upright would represent for any of the elements. But since you got the Ace of Wands, we're talking about really using sacred fire to better our lives and really tapping into all of those elements I just mentioned, you know, sensuality, sexuality, spirituality, creativity, yeah, and blood. So. Let's go, canine training. Okay. Okay, so I got the King of Swords for you, canine. This is the King of Swords. So this is also a Royal Arcana card, meaning that this represents a person or an archetype more so than an event. And the King of Swords, like the Queen of Swords, upright is going to represent positive, masculine aspects and elements of the, you know, aspect of air, so the mind. So think about how we can embody positive masculine aspects of air. Air is our communication style, it's our psychic abilities, it's our mind, it's our crown, it's our throat. And so I think that per this King of Swords, if you are to be the King of Swords, then this is a time for you to really be authoritative with your voice, really say what you mean from the chest and stand on it, and really be in a place of authority with your words and speak with intention. I also think that with the King of Swords, if this is someone in your life, if you are looking for advice or if you are looking for wisdom or guidance, I think a King of Swords can very much be like a really good mentor or someone to help guide you, whether that be in the physical or the astral, whether that be like a person or a spirit. Yes, but the King of Swords also too is it's air, so it's quite literally the opposite of cups. So a King of Swords tends to be a little bit more detached and more logical rather than emotional, which sometimes can rub some people the wrong way. But a King of Swords is very much like tell it like it is. And, you know, sometimes that can come off as just like being brutally honest and cruel. But I think that the energy of the King of Swords is maybe like what you need right now. And this is the Diablo tarot that we're using, the Sanctuary, which is connected to the video game. And this is like one of the demon spawn in the game. So thank you. I'm glad that that was helpful. Hi, thank you for joining. Yeah, it really is a pretty deck. It really is. I highly recommend it. So Danny, I just saw this now. I'm so sorry. I think in terms of your Ace of Wands, though, I would say that most likely it could lean more. You really need to be doing some work for this. When we're asking yes or no questions from RWS, typically swords represent like very unlikely not, almost positively not. Cups would be like a very strong yes, almost positively yes. But pentacles and wands represent more like free will than they do destiny. So because you got a wand that would lean more on the critical side of things, like it looks like it could be more of a no than a yes. However, it's not necessarily set in stone, Danny. It is a free will aspect here, and the blood and the power of fire and having a wand means that you need to be doing more work in the astral and on the magical realm of things, like doing work to get this house. As opposed to like a pentacle that would be doing work like in the physical to get the house that you are wanting. So I would be leaning into your spellcraft, your spirit pacting, and working with blood rituals, and incorporating that into your practice right now. Maybe pacting using blood, incorporating your sacred sexuality and your sensuality into your practice as well. Maybe tying that with some spirit work to help you get this property. There's some other things I can think of in terms of using the element of fire and everything it represents. Like if you have specifically the property, like that you can go to relatively easily, you could bury things on the property. And as far as how soon, if we were just going to pull one card here and just go with your Ace of Wands, I would say that wands, they represent fire. So that would be summertime. So that would be likely this summer, next summer, or in the summer. So, but that's also just assuming that that all applies to that one card that I pulled for you. And keep in mind, I very much believe that all of this in general is like a snapshot of right now. Things can change. Like there's destiny, there's free will, there's fate, and like the roads and the threads of fate are forever changing. But this is what it looks like right now, and we can make predictions that can be very accurate. But just because you got a wand, Danny, doesn't necessarily mean like no. It means you need to get to work. And the work is not in the physical, if you know what I mean. So interesting. Persephone is my patron goddess. I'm just thinking of traveling to another city as well. Okay, perfect. Yeah. You're so welcome, Kitty. I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying it. Yeah, welcome both of you. I would love to do a live stream reading for Daughters of Cain. I'm so here for that. Oh, Jessica White joined. I must have missed Jessica. I think I missed Jessica. But hi, Jessica White. Thank you, Con. Sure, Sherry. I'd be happy to. Also, for those of you who are in the Indie Witches Book Club, Sherry is one of our new moderators. So thank you so much, Sherry, for helping out with that. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow, I am going to be going to a place with Tara, and we are going to be scoping out a place for potentially an in-person meetup for the book club. Those of you who don't know, the Indie Witches Book Club, it's on Facebook. We have a meetup in person every other month and online every other month. So if you join the club, it's free for one. And for two, there's something going on every month. So, and even if you're not local to us, it's a great way to get plugged in. What did I just do with? Here it is. All right, Sherry, let me get you a card. Ooh. Six of Cups. This is a badass card, Sherry. Now, in traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, the Six of Cups represents nostalgia and looking back at the past. Upright, it represents kind of reminiscing on the past. It represents like looking back with fondness and learning lessons from our past, whether that be this life or the last life. You know what I'm saying? Now, the imagery of this doesn't necessarily give me reminiscing on the past per se, but it is really iconic for sure. It's a very, very stunning card. I do kind of feel like these chalices here, it's kind of giving me sort of that Twin Temple vibe of the chalices overpoureth with blood, and the infernal name of Babylon. It's kind of giving me that. And I feel like with our blood holding our chi and our prana and kind of being a blueprint to not only ourselves, but also like all of our ancestors being found within our blood. Also, your mighty dead, your witches who have come before you. So I think in terms of like Six of Cups, maybe this could be a powerful time for you to look into your own ancestry, to get into some ancestor veneration. If you don't already have an ancestor altar, maybe starting to build one. If you don't know some of your ancestry, maybe starting to explore your family tree or your genealogy. Or if none of that really interests you at all, you could also look into the witches of the past who have come before us, the mighty dead. I do have a mighty dead document list, Sherry. If you're interested, I'd be happy to send it to you. And it basically has predominantly, mostly like 19th century occultists and witches who have passed on, that you can start learning about them and invoking their spirits and working with them and asking for their guidance. Or you could maybe try some witch flight or some trance work and meet some mighty dead on your own in the other world. I'm getting that as a theme a lot with this deck. Thank you, Nick, for the super chat. I appreciate that. I don't know if you wanted me to pull another card for you. I'm working my way through the chat here, you guys. I don't know if you wanted me to pull another card for you or not. Oh, well, thank you, Lily, for the super chat. Okay, let me skip here to Lily. Tips are not all required, you guys, but I do try to give some people a little bit of benefit and priority when they do. So Lily, let me get you a card. Thank you very much for supporting me and supporting my channel and this stream. I think a goal that I have for my channel, you guys, is I'm really trying not to like buy too much, because I'm also working on some things in my personal life that requires me to kind of be frugal and save my money. But I do really want to invest in a proper webcam. Most of my filming I just do on my phone, but when I'm streaming, there's just too much going on my phone to stream with. So I just use the crappy webcam that comes with my laptop, and I would like to upgrade that. So that's my next goal with some of the money that I'm raising. Okay. Lily. R. Lily. Kali Lily. Very Lilith Lily. Nine of Swords. Got the Nine of Swords. So I love the art, of course. And this is the Diablo Tarot Sanctuary. The Nine of Swords in traditional tarot can, you know, it has the image of the woman there with like the blindfold and like all the swords around her. And it can represent, you'll see oftentimes in the suit of swords, people being blindfolded. We have that on the two of swords. We have that on the nine of swords. And so this is very much a card that can represent like betrayal, backstabbing, feeling stuck. The swords are very sharp cards. So Lily, I would say that this card is maybe a little bit of a caution about like what company that you keep, who you allow in your space, and maybe using this season right now as a time of culling, divine culling your circles, culling your spaces, calling your energy back to you, energy that you have given to other people consciously or unconsciously, calling all of that energy back and really relying on your second sight as opposed to, your first sight. Really trusting what you see and how you feel from other people, trusting that intuition. I think that the Nine of Swords is also indicative of having to really step into your personal sovereignty, like as a seer, because she's blindfolded. So this is a season for you to be looking, but not with your eyes, and to understand that there could be some people in your life right now that need to be called. I'm glad that it resonates. I'm glad that you joined the stream tonight. The King of Swords has always strongly reminded me of my mom, an amazing and powerful woman. Absolutely. And you guys, like, when it comes to these archetypes, RWS can kind of be a rigidly gendered language. However, like, it just represents masculine and feminine energy. So women can be kings, men can be queens. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be tied to physical sex. I think that that's something that modern tarot readers are definitely changing with the tarot system. Yes, all of that. Yeah, I mean, think about like the element of fire and your autonomy and things that you might already have on you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Been doing card readings for myself for years, but 10 minutes here had me learning 3 new things. Thank you so much. So this is an RWS sort of like based deck, and I am an RWS reader. And if you look in my description, there is a Patreon. We do have RWS courses, or course, I should say. It's a 6-week course, but if you do it via Patreon, you basically do it at your own pace, and you'll be able to see like all of my class files and all of my sort of like lecture notes, and then there's also videos and like suggested activities and homework that goes along with it. So, and also if you're on my Patreon and currently like taking that course, you're free to also like message me. I do live classes as well, like online and also in person, but there's just none of those going on at this time right now. So if you're interested in taking like a tarot course from me, then you would be able to do that via Patreon if you're interested. But I'm so glad that you were able to take something from this stream. I'm very passionate about tarot. I love it. And so I can go on all night about tarot. Yes. Yes. There's Jessica White. Hi. It's interesting that these readings are really applying to me as well. You know, I feel that sometimes too, even as the reader. My atheist kid who's not interested at all stumbled across previous Daughters of Cain streams, and they loved the humor. I watched one of them earlier today and I loved the whole thing. I am so glad. I'm so glad. Yeah, cool. So Astradia, who is a mod in here, is my usual co-host for that show, and we have a lot of fun doing it. I had her on my podcast as the Cauldron Bubbles, and I had her on so many episodes. I think in the second or third season, I think the third season, I had her on so many episodes, it pretty much just became our podcast in the third season. And so I had talked with Australia and I was like, would you be interested? And maybe instead of doing a podcast, we just did like a live stream show. And I think that has been so much more fun than doing it podcast style. Like, I like the engagement that we have on Daughters of Cain. And I love that, like, the name of the stream is Daughters of Cain. It's the whole thing is perfect. And Australia is so funny. I don't know if you guys watch my shorts on my channel. Shorts are almost like YouTube's version of TikToks, but I clipped this clip of Australia talking about Greta and Hilda, and it's kind of gone like mini viral. If you don't know, Greta and Hilda are these folkloric witches that Australia came up with on the Daughters of Cain stream. And, it's great. It's great. And then there's also another really great clip from Australia. Like, she's funny without even trying to be funny, you know? There's this other clip from her where she's talking about Beltane. You should go check those out. But yeah, I'm really glad that you and your kid like the Daughters of Cain. We do have a stream coming up. It's going to be about trans people within a religious context throughout, you know, culture and history. So I'm really excited about that. That's going to be kicking off our Pride panel stream in June. The Pride panel isn't necessarily like a Daughters of Cain thing. It's just something that I'm doing here on my channel. But yeah, so I'm glad that you guys enjoy it. That is very uncanny, isn't it? Not only that, but I've been curious about Daughters of Cain streams myself. Curious about what? I hope that you've been enjoying it. If you have any questions, Australia, if she's in the chat, I'm sure she can probably answer some questions. If there's topics that we've talked about that you're curious about, or if you have suggestions. And Jessica, of course you can get a reading. I'm just catching up right now in chat, you guys. I gotta refill my tea here in a second. So this is the Diablo, the Sanctuary Tarot deck. Link is in description if you guys are interested. No, this is not sponsored. I just like this deck a lot, and I thought maybe you guys would. It's not even an affiliate link. I don't make anything from you purchasing this deck on Amazon. So I'm just sharing it with you guys. All right, Jessica. Queen of Cups. Oh, Queen of Cups. So, okay, and if Australia is still here, you're going to love this card. So this is the Queen of Cups. Once again, in RWS, the Queen of Cups, this is a Royal Arcana card. So this represents more of a spirit or a person or something for you to embody and channel. This is not necessarily an event. Upright, this is positive femininity. Reversed, it would be toxic, but this is upright. And cups would be through the element of water. So this would be like a feminine energy that's very in touch, like with their emotions, with their empathy, with their clairsentience, very much like in tune with that. It's about healing, and it's like being a healer, channeling some of that energy. It's kind of softness in a way. I mean, not that the Queen of Cups, not that water can't be like erosive, because sure, of course it can, but I've always experienced like meeting the Queen of Cups as like this very like maternal, loving. If you're familiar with like the show Sabrina, I feel like Zelda would be more the Queen of Swords and Hilda would be more like a Queen of Cups or Pence maybe. But this imagery in particular speaks to me of like the goddess Arachnia. That's just like something I thought of when I saw this card. And so I think that the image of the spider and the spider goddess could be weaving some wisdom into your life right now, Jessica. Might be worth looking into Arachnia's mythos or the story of the spider woman, tapping into the wisdom that the spider sort of spirit in general weaves. I'm catching up here in chat. Yes, we always love taking suggestions for stream ideas. Yeah, check it out. I'd be happy to give you a reading. I love that we just kind of have like this chill vibe tonight. I knew you would love that card. I knew you would. I know you would. It spoke you to me when I saw it. Guys, give me a second. I'm going to refill my tea really quick. Hold, please. Delicious. Okay. You're welcome, Jessica. I'm glad. I'm glad too. So anyone is totally free to chip in their 2 cents if you would like to add to the reading. Absolutely. Like, of course. And yeah, like water does have brutality to it. I was just equating some more softer aspects of it because it was upright as opposed to like reversed. But absolutely, the Queen of Cups can give you tough love just as much as the Queen of Swords can be a nurturing mother. Absolutely. So this is the one that started jumping out of the deck. This is the Hanged Man that I got for you. Another beautiful card in this deck. I might even do another one of these streams like later this week or something. We'll see. This week is really busy, but this has been fun. Okay, anyway, shut up, Jasmine. Get to the card. So the Hanged Man. In RWS, this card is basically representing an ability of changing your perspective and a shift in your perspective that is needed or maybe coming. It's a major arcana card. So this represents like a major spiritual aspect. This is not something minor. This is not something little. Like this is a big, important message. This is a very loud card. And some people attribute the Hanged Man to like Odin hanging from the world tree, poking out his own eye and allowing the blood to kind of like form the runes or whatever. Like some people attribute that story to the Hanged Man. Sometimes this can represent like suffering in order to gain enlightenment as well. In the traditional imagery, the Hanged Man has a halo around his head and he's hanging upside down. And, you know, his pain and his suffering from his hanging is what's giving him the halo of enlightenment and understanding. This card is not in reversed. So I would not say that it necessarily is suffering is required for this enlightenment, but I would say that there's a shift in perspective that is needed for this season of your life right now. And there's like a bigger picture maybe that like you're not seeing all the way. So I think that maybe if you practice divination yourself, you'd be able to kind of pull some of your own cards, maybe to see kind of like what we're not seeing or to see like the bigger picture here. This is also very much a card about like spiritual awakening, enlightenment, and kind of really like self-exploration as well. And this is not like a linear thing. So regardless of how, you know, many years or how few years maybe you've been practicing, or how many lifetimes, right? Like this is this is a cyclical sort of thing where we go in phases of revisiting things that we constantly thought that we had already learned. That's, I think, part of why sometimes the craft is attributed as a spiral path. And so I think that with this Hanged Man coming up for you, I think that, you know, there's a bigger picture and there's a deeper meaning right now in this season that I feel like Lilith, per these cards, or the spirits are kind of trying to guide you through and to right now. I'd be happy to get you one. I'd be happy to. Hi, Hale. Love you. Yeah, I'd be happy to give you a card. Also, thank you so much, Jessica, for the Cash App. I'm sorry, I haven't even been paying attention to my phone. Hale, I can definitely get you a card. Okay, let me get one for Australia. Guys, where am I putting the cards? They're literally right next to me. Blessed be. Blessed be. What card are we going to have for Australia tonight? Three of Wands, Australia. So beautiful imagery again. I just love the red foil. I love these very simple like color scheme of these cards, but they're just so almost like visceral to me. So the Three of Wands in RWS is very much about like creative projects and building stability in these creative projects. And it's about like an adventure and an experience, something to be explored. This is the element of fire. This is a minor arcana. This is a day-to-day sort of life aspect that we have coming up for you in the cards. Immediately off the top of my head, I won't say it in case this is something that you want to keep private at this time, but you have told me a little bit about it, and I have kind of like made some suggestions, but I feel like these cards are kind of like confirming some of what I was saying the other day when we were talking about what we were talking about, which I won't necessarily like say out loud on the stream because I don't know if you even want me to talk about that publicly or not. But I think that this is a sign, I would think, of you have exactly what it takes to start this sort of journey. And this has maybe been a long time coming. Oh, I think my dog just like, I hope she's okay. She just like made a weird bark noise. I don't know if you guys heard that. But this is about like getting ready to kind of like start this long journey and this creative project, this sort of like passion pursuit. And it's going to require you to really tap into that element of fire, which I'm also attaching with the aspect of blood in this as well, because this is the Lilith aspect that some of, you know, the deck has in here. You can see her red rose petals too, kind of like pedaling around this traveler. And in the video game, the red rose petals appear when Lilith is manifesting herself. And even though this is a video game, that speaks a lot to like some of my own personal UPG and works with Lilith and her association and connection with like red roses and like this dark feminine sensuality. So I feel like the dark goddess with those red rose petals for you with the name that you understand her and work with her and interpret her is kind of going to be sort of like a Lampadios for you to help you in this journey. Yeah. Sure. Oh, goodness. Hold on a second. Let me go check on my dogs. Okay, so I guess my dogs were fighting over a chicken foot. Love that. But yeah, I can definitely get you a card, Hale. Yeah, my dogs are just goblins. They're just little demon babies. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. What do we have here? Two of Pentacles per. We have the Two of Pentacles. Which, like, Hale, I don't know why, but like this dude on this card just kind of reminds me of you. So he looks fun. The Two of Pentacles is basically kind of like a juggling act between our work and career and professional life and our personal life. It's about really bringing all things into balance and stability and juggling, responsibility and pleasure. This is upright, so I would say that like this is looking like a positive omen. This is looking fruitful, that like there is going to be more of a healthy work-life balance and stability, and that you are fully capable of juggling these two pentacles. You know, it might be difficult at times, but you are more than capable of doing so with grace. I mean, look at this guy. He's like skipping and sprinting, and he's juggling these two pentacles, and he's doing the damn thing. So I would see that as a very positive omen for you. And it's pentacles, so this is earth, so this is our finances, this is our health as well. Yeah I can think of some other things that can be a connected to as well, but I won't necessarily say publicly, but we can talk, in the DMs. Sure, be happy to. Let me get a card for Jax. Jax, I have the Knight of Cups for you, which isn't that imagery just fun? Isn't that just beautiful? This is the Diablo, the Sanctuary deck that I'm using tonight. The Knight of Cups is a Royal Arcana card. So this is a person or a spirit. This is not an event. And knights represent movement and action. This is upright for you. So this represents sort of like moving forward. This is a positive movement. Cups represent our heart space, our emotions, our relationships. This could be, moving a relationship into something more serious or moving on from a relationship, although it doesn't even necessarily need to be romantic or sexual. It could also just be like kind of really moving from the heart and having other people sort of like coming into our lives or building closer relationships. To me, the Knight of Cups, I often think of like friendships and relationships and their place and priority in our lives. I think the Knight of Cups in this particular card just really looks like insatiable, like lust, insatiable bloodlust. And I think that the Knight of Cups, since I'm thinking of like, you know, friendship and relationships and companionship, and like maybe some lust for companionship, because lust doesn't necessarily always have to be sexual either. I would take this as a positive omen and a positive sign for your relationships. In terms of this being, you know, like a person, like if you were to embody the Knight of Cups, this would be kind of asking you to make judgment calls and move from your heart. Really listen to your heart, pay attention to how you are feeling about people, places, and situations. Be really in tune with that and make decisions and movements from that operative like place. And then in terms of like this being like a spirit, because the Royal Arcana can very much also manifest as spirits as well. They don't always have to just be ourselves or other people. This could also represent itself as like a spirit of passion. I can think of like a few in my head, but I think it's more important for you to decipher who that spirit could be if you think that's what it is. I don't necessarily want to like name names of the Legion or, you know, other spirits and that not necessarily be like your vibe. So I would just say like, once again, the theme of like the psychopomp, traveling the other worlds, witch flight, getting to know who this Knight of Cups is for you if it's not yourself. I can, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I have the Two of Swords for you, Dawn. This is actually in general, like in general RWS, this is actually one of my favorite cards. I actually have it up in a frame that one of my friends gave me. So love this imagery. The Two of Swords literally represents being at a crossroads, being at a time where you are going to be asked to take one direction or the other, where you are going to be set to kind of make some sort of big decision and choice that could very much alter your life path. And who you develop into in this specific reality and incarnation. The Two of Swords, the person is also typically blindfolded, and this person is in this. And also in traditional RWS, the woman is like kneeling with two swords and she has a blindfold. And it's kind of like she's being asked to see without her eyes, to look without her eyes. And so I think in terms of being at this crossroads, there's a lot of powerful meaning that I think that we can pull from that. If it comes to like your strength and your power and you're tapping into your own magic, it's also seeing those spirits at the crossroads with your eye and not your eyes. And it's also asking from them, asking advice about which pathway to take at this crossroads, and really trusting what you see and what you hear from them, but also tapping into your own sight and looking down those roads, looking down those crossroads at which one you feel like is going to be the most fruitful. Sometimes when we are at a Two of Swords, it looks like both paths look terrible, or sometimes it's hard because both paths look really good. So I think it's important for you to really tap into your own like intuition with this, and maybe do some divination of your own, and pull some cards on some of these decisions. Maybe you're at this crossroads now, or maybe you're headed towards this crossroads, or it's coming. But I think that you are going to kind of be pushed into making a committed decision one way or another. It could also be in relation to people, about not being on the fence and having to kind of pick a side. Nick, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. And I'm definitely happy to give you a card pull for that. So, can you do a reading for me to see how my success and empowerment with Belial will go? I definitely can. I will follow this up with saying that when it comes to Belial, I would very much recommend you also talking with him and checking in with him. But I can be a little bit nosy and just maybe peep in and see how things are going. Sure. You have to remind me and let me know, but did I do a Belial reading for you like maybe a year and a half ago? Maybe I'm thinking of another Nick. Your picture is like so tiny, I can't really see very well. How is this work with Belial going to go? Belial is so, like, such an intense energy to be working with. Not that in any way that's like a bad thing. I've had my own bits with him. He's very much an acquired taste, isn't he? Okay, so this is good. So I got the Ace of Pentacles for you. I got the Ace of Pentacles, which I love this card. And that almost even just kind of like gives me Belial's vibes of like his hands. Or me without moisturizer on my hands. No, so, okay. Ace of Pentacles. So aces are going to represent omens, and this is upright, so it's a positive omen, and it's in Pentacles, so it's earth. So this is your health. This is like body, mind, body, spirit, sort of like overall wellness, and also like money as well. Material things, financial assets. This is a very positive omen for all of that, which like Belial can be definitely a great ally for that, for people that resonate to sort of him. Once again, I think he's very much an acquired taste. I know that like he's kind of trending a little bit on the Wild West of TikTok right now, and I just don't necessarily think that he's for every practitioner. I think it takes a very special kind to really be able to work with him. But I do think that with this Ace of Pentacles here, if we're looking at this from like a yes, no, maybe sort of standpoint, this isn't necessarily like hell yes, very good looking, because that would be more of an Ace of Cups, but it's not on a negative side. The Ace of Pentacles here represents like some physical labor or some demanding work or some physical sacrifice that is going to need to be made in order for this work with Belial to be as successful as it possibly can. So I would interpret this as like maybe it's leaving offerings in the physical, or maybe sacrificing some sort of physical thing or activity. I would talk to Belial, honestly. I would ask Belial about this Ace of Pentacles and see maybe what he is needing or what he is looking for, if you haven't already. You're so welcome, Hale. I love you. I love you, love you, love you. I keep getting that card. I've moved away from a lot of people. I'm still figuring out who it can be. I have cut a lot of people out, and I'm healing from that in a breakup. I think I may know who the Knight of Cups may be. He tried doing a love spell on me, but it didn't work, and he is known to do love binding spells. Baby, throw his ass in a jar. Hi, Blue. So Blue, if you guys don't know Blue, please go check out Blue's channel. Subscribe. I am going to be on Drunken Divinations July 8th, I believe, is when we said, and I'm going to be using this deck on Drunken Divs. So if you guys are enjoying this deck, catch me on Drunken Divs, because I will be using this there, and I will be with my gay sons. And we will be having a very good time, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Okay, thank you for clarifying. That's funny, 2 different Nicks that I know working with Belial. You're so welcome. Love you, love you, love you. Love you, Hale. Hi, Jason. Yeah, wasn't it fun last night, Australia, when we were just like having our kiki with Blue? Yeah, Drunken Divs is fun. I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's practitioners getting together on a live stream, and every time you tip them, they take a shot and they pull cards for people. Tips appreciated, not expected, but anytime you tip, they have to take a shot. So I need to figure out like what I'm going to be drinking. Honestly, Blue, I think that it would be kind of fun for us to like all have a specific cocktail or something for like have like a themed cocktail for like that particular stream. That would be fun. And it would give me an excuse to like play in my Canva app and like make something cute, you know? So I think I'm going to wrap up doing the readings for tonight. I'll keep it open for like maybe just another couple minutes in case anyone else wants one. But I think I'm going to close it for tonight in a couple of minutes. And I might do this again tomorrow. I don't know. I know it's been kind of sporadic. I've been really wanting to do another live readings like this because I really enjoy it. And I wanted to do it with this deck in particular because I recently got this deck. And like I said, I read RWS, and this is an RWS based deck. So it's not so much like I need to learn the cards per se, because RWS is RWS. And that's the nice thing about learning traditional tarot, is that you can kind of apply that system onto multiple different divination, you know, decks, even if it's not necessarily RWS. And if any of you are interested, again, I do have that RWS course that I teach and run where you can get access to lectures and videos. It's a 6-week thing. And right now you can do it self-taught on my Patreon, but I also do that live as well. That's something that you would sign up for the course. And I teach that like live in person at the shop. But I also do it online. I'm just not doing any of that right now. I'm not really necessarily like doing a whole lot of courses or workshops at all right now because my focus is kind of elsewhere. However, if you are on the Patreon and doing self-taught, feel free to reach out to me if you have questions about some of the material. A seasonal liqueur. I don't know. I think since I'm going to be using the Diablo deck, it'd be kind of fun to just have like a whole infernal theme, I think, for our stream. So maybe we need some kind of like infernally themed drink. Maybe you guys can help us think of an idea. Also, this is Mina. That's my little baby. Ooh, a pomegranate. Pomegranate something would be nice. I'm always down for a pomegranate. Wow, okay, cool. Belial called out to me in a dream when I first started on the left-hand path. I was dreaming and I saw his sigil. He told me that he's been waiting for me. Thank you again. You're welcome. And I very much think that Belial, for like the practitioners that he comes to and that he reaches out to, like he is with you. You know what I mean? I feel like he's not in my personal experience and from talking with, you know, other people that work with the Legion, Belial is one that like tends to come to practitioners and comes on very strongly. Give us the recipe of this vampire cocktail. I'm so here for it. Yeah, she's a baby. Fireball and apple cider is very good. I've made that before. I call it white girls, and like serve it hot or cold, put whipped cream on it. But like, I don't know if I want to drink that right now, you know? I mean, I'm always into it, but like we're shifting into like the early summer tide. So I don't know if I necessarily want to do Fireball. We're going to figure something out. We're going to figure something out. the cucumber mint vodka from Svedka, whatever. So good, so good. But I kind of want like an infernal theme, you know, since I'm going on Drunken Divs and I'm using the Diablo tarot. Plus, I don't know, I would really like to bring a little bit of an unholy element into the stream for Drunken Divs. I think that would be really fun. And I think having like a drink that's kind of on brand of like Lilith and vampires and succubus and Diablo and the devil. I just think that would be fun. A black pepper vodka? You're kidding. I have to try this. That sounds awful. I want to try it. 2 parts Chemboard, 2-part raspberry vodka, 3 parts palm splash of something bubbly. It's cute and bloody. Okay. I feel like I would just simplify all of that. I'm down to try that, but there's a lot of moving parts there. I don't necessarily really keep much of like a home bar, so I would need to get all the materials. So I would probably just simplify this by using pomegranate juice and raspberry vodka with like a clear soda, like a Sprite or something. And we are blasphemous, so it'll fit. Period. I don't drink, but I'm curious to see if non-alcoholic swaps can be made. You can absolutely make almost anything a mocktail if you just take the alcohol out of it, like that vampire drink that we were just talking about. You can absolutely make that with, you could do like a raspberry tea and like pomegranate juice and like a Sprite. Yeah. Michelle, I can give you a read. I'll probably make the simple version of it. Y'all know I love a poor man's recipe, okay? But yeah, I'm down for us to do the vampire thing. All right, Michelle, I'm going to pull you a card from the Diablo, the Sanctuary deck. Let's see what we get. 10 of Pentacles. Very good. So this is the 10 of Pentacles card. Don't you love the art? So in RWS, the 10 of Pentacles is kind of like the last of its suit, right? It's the last pentacle. And in RWS, it represents an abundant harvest, crops coming into fruition, bounty coming into your life, wealth, and health, those being 2 big themes of the element of earth. It's riches of the fruits of your labor really coming into your reality and prosperous abundance. This is a very, very good card to get, the 10 of Pentacles, of course. I love it. You know, to me, I also see this too. I see this 10 of Pentacles in this particular deck too. If we were going to interpret this a little bit more with an oracle's eye, I also see this as the bounty that is being given through your work with the infernal divine. The blessings that can come into your life through, you know, working and pacting with the Legion, and really building your relationship with the infernal divine. You're welcome. Herbal teas and mocktails have excellent relaxing properties with 0 alcohol. In fact, there's a dry kombucha, usually alcoholic, which is fermented, but still also 0 alcohol. Right now, I am drinking the Tavo or Tazo, like hibiscus tea mixed with a green mint tea. So it's like hibiscus and mint. I think I put another tea in this too, but I forget. Well, you guys, I think I'm going to end this. Thank you all so much. I know this is like a super weird time. Well, maybe not for people on the West Coast. Um, but I normally don't stream this late. I just really felt kind of a call and a push to. I had been wanting to do live readings for a little while anyway. I was just literally trying to find the time, and sometimes you just have to make the time, you know? I got this new deck under the suggestion of Lilith's son, Patrick, on TikTok, who's lovely. We just recently had a like a Patreon live stream exclusive hangout, which we're going to publish later. He's going to be on the Pride panel as well. We really vibe. And he was like, girl, you need to check out this Diablo deck. I checked it out. I loved it. I'm glad that you guys like it too. I will probably do this again, and I will be on Drunken Divination. So go check out Blue Knight's channel. Make sure that you're following Blue Knight, because I will be using the Diablo Tarot on Drunken Divs July 8th. So you guys need to go tune into that and like help me crash their stream. You know what I mean? And by crash their stream, I mean you should be commenting cute little vampire emojis in the chat and helping sacrifice to the algorithm gods to help boost the stream. Use like the code word vampire in your comment. It can be like a cute little fun game between us. But yes, thank you all so much. And thank you to everyone who sent super chats. Super appreciate that. Kitty and Danny and Nick Richards and Lily. I really, really appreciate that. Nick twice. Thank you. Those super chats really help support me, and they help support this channel. And right now I'm trying to work on getting like a better webcam. I film and record everything from my phone, but when I do these streams, I really just prefer to use my laptop because it's easier to stay plugged into everything between the chat and, you know, the controls and everything, because I'm just doing all of this myself. I don't have anyone necessarily like helping with like putting brand stuff up or like the tick streamer or any of that. So I just do it all myself. So I'm right now trying to get an actual proper webcam and not just use this like crappy one that comes with my laptop. So that's like something I'm working on right now. So thank you to everyone who sent those super chats, because that's exactly what that money is going towards. So I super appreciate the support. Anyways, I'm going to hop off of here. Thank you to everyone who came into the chat. Thank you, Australia, for helping mod. I super appreciate that. You guys make sure that you tune into our Daughters of Cain show. That is going to be coming up, I believe, on Sunday. And it was really good to see all of you. So until next time, right? Blessed be, and I will see you in hell. Let me put on a cute little video, and we'll have like a little video moment before I go, actually. Oh my gosh. I did not mean to click on that one. You guys, let me just take my ass to bed. Let me just take my ass to bed. I was going to put on this cute little video, but I'm just going to save it for later. I'm just going to take my ass to bed. Good night. Love you. Bye.